Hello everyone, I thought we would try reviewing a game between two 5Q players. This was a game played on April 1st, 2012 on the KGS Go server. I actually know one of these players, I haven't seen him in a while. It's the black player whose name is Burton. Maybe that'll give us someone to root for here while we review the game. Anyway, this game has a lot of good moves and a lot of really, I'll say, good mistakes, really good moves for us to learn from. So I think it's a really good game for anyone to review, from 20Q on up and higher even, because these mistakes, some of these mistakes, even stronger players will make from time to time too. Anyway, let's see how the game progressed. And black goes first and takes this upper right-hand corner. If you notice this move, it's not on the 4-4 stone. If you're new to Go, you've probably been taught at some point you should play your first moves on these star points, what they call them, these 4-4 moves here. And black's move is not. It's actually 3 spaces from the top and 4 over from the right. We call this the 3-4 opening. This is a little more territory influenced. Black's saying he's a little more interested in these corner points than white is, or than just having outward influence. This stone may not be able to build something big out here in the middle, but it's a little more defensive, and that's good. White goes on and plays in the correct direction from this black stone. And what I mean by the correct direction is that white plays the bigger side. If you notice, this black stone is not symmetrical on the board, right? There's actually, if we count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 spaces this way. And if we count down, there's actually 16 spaces this way. We don't have to count. We just, trust me, that's 16. And in Go, you always want to take what's bigger. So when people say, what's the biggest move, this is one thing that might determine what the biggest move is. And that's which side is bigger. So white plays the correct corner in the sense that there's 16 spaces over here and only 15 spaces over here. So white played the bigger corner. Good job, white. Black will continue on taking another 3-4 corner, again thinking this is a very territorial game. Black's very interested in taking territory, and that's fine. White will play another 4-4 move. So now we have 2 4-4 stones. Both of these radiate this outward influence. Just kind of all over the place. Oh, my drawing is going really funny right now. But these stones, kind of just go outward. When a stone gets close to the edge, it's inward, or at least we should feel the stone as wanting to take these points. When we play a higher stone, it means the players are more interested in the stuff that's out here. So this is a good battle between someone who's playing more defensive and territorial and someone who's playing more outward and maybe trying to strive for a little more balance overall across the entire board. The next move for black, this is a very normal move. This is a corner enclosure. Again, black is very interested in these corner points. Before we saw him just getting these, but now black looks like he's getting more of these. So again, we're just taking territory very slowly. There's nothing wrong with this. This is very good. At the same time, black is starting to look like this whole area might even become black. There's a lot of black stones in this area. So black might be taking or starting to make what we might call a moyo. It's still a little too early to decide that, but it's something that you have to think about. White's next move is very conscious of this. White is not at all interested in giving black all these points up here at the top of the screen, so white jumps in. Now this move is very strange. For any strong Go player, 1 dan and above, you'll recognize this move as being a little odd. And the reason is because in this black area, the best thing for white to usually do is make a base. And when we play a stone on the 4th line versus the 3rd line, any of these moves over here, this stone is actually really hard to make eyes. And I can just briefly show you this. It's a little too soon to do this, but if black were to play right here, white has to kind of run outward. It's actually very difficult for white to make eyes in here. Black will just sort of come underneath and eat any eye potential. We can poke out these eyes. So this is why we avoid playing the 4th line, and instead if white wanted to break up this top area, white should come in on the 3rd line. And by doing this, even if white gets attacked from side to side, white can make this little base. And this is, fairly safe. This is strong. We can start to see some potential for eyes in here. Black just can't come right in here and destroy all this like black could when the stone was on the 4th line. So this is a little bit of a mistake by white. This is just a very strange move, but we'll see how it turns out. Whoops, that's not the next move of the game. There's the next move of the game. So as you can see, black is very interested in territory still, still taking territory. Black now has 2 corners. We have that one, we have that one. All together, that might be getting somewhere close to 20 to 25 points of territory. How much territory does white have so far? Well, we don't know. White's just very outward and in the open. White's playing for influence. So we have to wait and see what white will get out of this. It's exciting. This is also a very strange move. Remember how I just said that white wanted to make a base, inside of this black influence? Well, this move starts to look like it makes a base, but the thing is, it really doesn't. I'll just take a black stone and put a stone over here, and again, you can see that any potential that white would have for eyes in this neighborhood can be pretty easily wiped out. And white can try to do things to cut off black. Maybe white wants to play this, but black has several ideas. First of all, black can just capture this stone. And in doing so, we can see that black's territory is actually expanded even more than what white had. So that's just giving free points to black. We don't like giving free points to our opponent usually. Or if we go back a little bit, if we don't like the idea of black getting all these points, maybe white can press down here. But as you can see that we're still actually just giving black points, and we still don't have eyes. Uh-oh, all right, did my cursor break? Maybe, there we go, okay. So we still don't really have eyes yet. So this is kind of a struggle. We're not exactly sure where white's eyes are. And this might get interesting later. We'll have to see if black attacks this. Black's going to leave this alone for now. That's okay. Black's going to approach this corner. This is good because, as you guys can see, let me delete these previous markings. We'll pick a new color just for fun here. This territory projects influence this way. When you're playing Go, you always want to build boxes. Boxes are really efficient territory because if you think about it, look at this corner for instance. I'll just use my pen here. If I draw down here, we can see that white or black, either player can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stones and make 3 points of territory. But if we play 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, that's the wrong line. Hold on. Let's go back. That's the line I wanted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stones. We get 4 points of territory right here. Do you guys see that? That is, that's the difference, right? If we make a box, we get an extra point. If we make a line, we don't. We get less. So you always want to build boxes, and that's what black's stone here is starting to do. If black were to maybe get a couple more moves in here, something like this, you can see that this makes a really nice big box. That's very efficient. Go is all about efficiency. Let's delete that. All right. That's not what happened. But that is what black is hoping for. White does not want to let that happen. White does not want to let black get a nice big block of territory here, so white jumps in and invades. This is called a pincer, because we're pincering this black stone. We're trying to prevent this black stone from getting a base. I'm not in love with this pincer. This is called the 2-space low pincer. It is, it's actually kind of difficult to play in this situation because even though black doesn't have a base, white doesn't really have a good base over here either. Let's see what the two players do and see what sort of fighting erupts from this. And there it is. So right away, black looks at his stone and says, hey, I don't have a base. And looks at white stone and says, hey, I don't want you to have a base. So white immediately counterpincers the white stone, and now we have a real fight here. Notice this stone actually works very nicely with that box that we already looked at over here. If black were to get one more move, let's say this, you can see that box forming, right? There's a nice territory box. That's good for black. All right, that's not what the game happened. What happened in the game was that white jumped out. This stone is looking weak. It's caught between two black stones, so white wants to make it stronger. This is a good idea for white in this case. Black is a little greedy. Even though black has a weak stone right here, notice how this stone is starting to get swallowed up. If I just draw a little box around these white stones, this black stone is in the middle of white's box. It's not dead yet, but it's getting very, very weak. It's going to have to run for its life pretty soon if black doesn't want it to die. And so when black ignores this stone and goes over here and makes that box, you know, granted it's a very nice looking box. We said we want to make boxes. We're leaving some crumbs on the table for white to eat. So, you know, if white gets to eat this and black gets to eat this, well, maybe it's a whole thing's a wash. Maybe it's not that great for black. Maybe black could do better. So what black probably should have done is also leap out here. And again, not let this two stones become weak. Because here's the other thing to remember. These two stones still, for white, these two stones are still kind of weak. They're still kind of trapped between two black strong positions. And whenever you can trap your opponent in between your strength, that's going to go well for you. And if you are the one who's trapped inside of your opponent's strength, that's going to go poorly for you. So these are just very basic, you know, intermediate go concepts on attacking and defending. Is we don't want to be the weak one. Right? We want to be the ones with strength around the other person. So this move is a little ill-timed. It's a very nice move for making points, but it's not the most urgent move right now. White is going to really not want to get these two stones trapped, so white jumps out again, making these stones even stronger, and this stone even weaker by comparison. So black doesn't know what to do. Looks like black is just kind of lost here. So black just abandons the situation and goes try to make a base inside of this entire territory. Oh, I'm not really sure if this move is good or bad. I suspect it's not good. But you know, at least black knows that, you know, black got in a little bit of trouble. What I would probably suggest for black to do at this point, however, is to actually just jump in this corner. And because what's going to happen here is one of two things. And I'll show you the lesser likely one first. White has two ways white can block. White can block over here, and white can block over here. White is less likely to block this way. This is a Joseki. And the reason why white is less likely to block this way is black will now just jump in here, and this looks great for black, that is. Black got some corner points. Black got a lot of points over here. Black got this corner. And black can make a base over here or just jump out and run away. And white has very few points, if at all. If this is how the game goes, this is great for black. Black is just killing it. So what white is going to do instead is white isn't going to block that way. Instead, white will block this way. And black will play here. White will play here. Black here. This is a Joseki. And the difference is, let me grab my little drawing tool. Black still got corner points, just like in the previous version, except now white is looking like white will get this box worth of points. And notice that this box right now, it might be reduced later, but right now it does look like it's bigger than this box. So what white got here on this side of the board is a little bigger than what black got. However, we also have to factor in that black got this move in too. So even then, this actually isn't that bad of a result for black. I actually still like black here quite a bit. I think the other result, if white blocks the wrong way, is even better for black, but that's asking your opponent to help you, and you can't usually count on your opponent helping you. At least not my opponents. Okay, so neither player does that yet. Black just decides to go here directly. Let's see what white does. Oh, so white is thinking, hey, if white can get one more move, right? If black has to come over here and make a base, white can get one more move, and white has a very nice box. Check this out, right? Assuming that this stone is swallowed up. This stone is very hard to live. Not enough space for eyes, would have to run out. So if white gets this box might even be bigger than the black box in the top left. All right, because that only looks like that many points, and this can be that many points. So this would be good for white. I doubt that black is going to allow that. And of course, black has a very nice move here. Just jump in the corner. Don't let white get this nice entire box to his or herself. So white blocks this way. We already talked about this, right? So white can get these points over here. But still, this doesn't really feel all that great for white. Oh, all right, let's back up here. So right here, let's look and see. It looks like black is trying to crawl to this stone to help this stone out, while at the same time making enough space and points for eyes down here so black can live comfortably. White has a little bit of a shape problem in the sense that if white blocks here, white might be a little bit scared of this cut. And, you know, granted, this is kind of a scary cut, but it, you know, it looks like white could deal with it. But even so, I wouldn't recommend blocking here, because again, this is, actually, this black looks pretty able to fight this. Certainly white can't Atari this way. These two stones will just get eaten. If white Ataris this way, there's a whole bunch of Aji, or, you know, possibilities for black to cause mischief in this area. Notice how I'm not playing this Atari for black. Many of you might say, hey, there's a white stone here. Shouldn't we just go up here and Atari and force white to connect and then cut? Well, the answer is probably not. Because look what happens if I just want to cut here, white comes up. I might, later on, want to Atari this way. I'm probably not going to do it right now because it means these three stones are going to die, but this is a future possibility. I might want to save it to get extra liberties over here. So again, this is a good example of not removing your Aji before you have to in a fight. If you don't know which direction you're going to want to Atari, don't Atari either one. All right, but either way, that looks, it's a fight. I suspect black will come out just fine. So white blocking, probably not so good. The move in the game that white plays is this one. This is asking for trouble. This is basically just as bad as blocking, where you get into this fight, which, of course, black looks to cut immediately. Well, except black doesn't. Black wusses out. But right here, black should just cut. These two stones are very weak. If black gets one more move, if white does something like this, these are, or at least one of these stones is going to die. And maybe more. So black just needs to cut right here and fight. Black might be a little scared of the cut because of all these white stones over here, but hey, we gotta take advantage of when our opponents leave weaknesses. Since black is scared, apparently, black decides to push. This is a terrible move. If you play moves like this in Go, you are a chicken. Or you're just blind and you can't spot your opponent's weaknesses. If you were playing Go, you got to see that these two stones can easily be cut off from all of their friends. And black has some weaknesses, right? There's a stone over here. There's a little bit of a helper. There's some Ataris over here. There's a peep. There's an extra friend over here. You got to see that black has a lot of possibilities for mischief. And so we got to just go and cut that. This move removes all of those possibilities. White will just fix. And now there's very little mischief that can be done. This is a sad, sad move for black. If you play moves, or I should say, if black plays moves that force your opponent to fix their shape, and you don't ever take advantage of their weak points, you will lose the game. So now black decides to take this Atari. This is bad for all those aforementioned reasons. Even though white fixed the shape, There's actually still some possibilities for mischief. Actually, probably this way first. Black will peep here, black can peep here. And you can see that black was able to get a few extra free moves on the outside here. And might even want to get an extra one later. Maybe we can do something with this. Maybe we can peep here, and hey, lo and behold, we actually might be able to eat all these white points, or at least prevent white from getting all of them. In the way that black played this game by playing here, white's just going to connect, and now we're missing lots of weak points, right? White's shape is looking a lot better already. So this is another bad move for black. Now black makes a base. This is a good idea. This is very well timed. Before black plays this, however, I might just play it again. This is a timing thing. I might just try to take advantage of these white weaknesses right now, just to make sure that you have a little bit of extra help out here in case you get into trouble. And now you can make a base. So black just decides to make a base directly. Again, that's a good idea. If you don't play this stuff right now, there's a chance you might not get it later. That's why I'm suggesting you might want to do that now while you're trying to make a base. But that's all right. This is a good move for white. Again, even though black has a little bit of a base here, we have not a lot of room. This is very small. It's actually not even sure we can easily make 2 eyes. So by keeping this stone here, we're putting a lot of pressure on black, and we're actually starting to turn some corner points into white's territory. So if we were just to look at the board right now, I'm just going to draw the white potential territories in purple. I'm going to draw this top one, even though we already talked about it, and it really wasn't very territorial looking. We want to hit that for blue, and we'll make black the blue areas. I think all of us can see that as of right now, it kind of looks like black actually still has more points. Not by a lot, but still has more points on the board. However, white gets Comey. So, after Comey, in terms of territory, the game looks, maybe only about 4 or 5 points in favor of black. But that's okay, because white has a nice target here. So white will be able to get compensated by attacking this. Black doesn't want to be attacked by this, so black's just going to try to make a base just as crudely as possible. White is more than happy to make these into white points. And then black will come over here and try to make even more points. So black's just sensing, hey, I'm doing well. It's just time to make sure I don't get attacked and make everything solid. And just take as many points as possible. The problem with this is that this group down here isn't really completely solid and alive yet. There's a lot of white stones out here that can easily attack this. In addition, this move, we might even be able to get a little more points out of it. I don't think there's anything wrong with this move. If you play this move, that's fine. But I'll give you 2 alternatives for you to consider. The first move is going to be this one. This looks a little strange, but one thing I like about this move is that it actually can have the possibility of helping out this weak black group a little bit later, should it get into trouble. Because again, this stone is high, and again, we just have to make sure this doesn't die, and we'll do okay. The second move is to actually come all the way down here. White's already spent several moves defending this corner territory. So we might as well force white to spend several more just defending this corner territory, make sure white wants it. And again, there is the possibility for a little bit of trouble in here. But if black was willing to play this far, this far might be okay too. All right. So black takes more points. White defends. This is looking like a nice chunk of territory right here. And black's trying to make a box again. Notice that this box, I'll use my color tool here. This box is a little weird shaped, right? It's got this little, it sort of juts out here when we compare it to this one. This one's a nice square box. This one has this little, this is on the 5th line, this is on the 4th line, so it's at an angle. I didn't draw that angle very well. My mouse kind of slipped. But you get the idea. It looks like this box would be nicer if we had a, let's play a white stone there. If we had an extra stone here, right? Wouldn't that look nice? Or maybe maybe here. But the reality is we don't. And if we do want to play that, that'll cost us a move. So this box is not near, well, it's a good box. In terms of territory, it's nowhere near as good as this box. This box looks much nicer. What this move does do, however, is remember this little group down here that needs help? This might be able to help that little group. And if this group becomes safe, black might have ideas to do things. Let me just play a stone like this. Now black can invade here. Maybe make some mischief of himself now that black is stronger here. So this move is okay. I would still be very inclined to play something down here. Actually, again, probably the same thing. Still take advantage of these peeps. Just trying to make sure this group is as strong as I can make it. Because if white kills that, and it looks like it's possible, I'm not going to feel so confident about black winning this game. So let's go back. White responds in kind. Again, white's box actually looks nicer than black's box, again, just because notice how these are on the 5th line, all 3 of these stones, so that makes a nice box here. This also puts a little more pressure on this sad-looking group down here. If you guys don't believe me how sad it is, well, maybe we'll find out. I can hope, right? I haven't quite read through this whole game yet, so we'll find out together if white ever gets up the courage to attack this. So now black comes back up here and decides to make a box. This box is a little inefficient, quite frankly. These 3 stones are, well, not those stones. These 3 stones are a little too close together. When your opponent doesn't have any stones that close to this, I mean, has got 1 stone over here, but not a whole lot more than that. This is very inefficient. We don't like to see this. This is kind of what we say is a slow move. It's a good shape. Again, this makes a lot of points pretty solidly. White can still invade it, however, and attempt some mischief. But at this point, it's currently looking pretty safe. So this is a little slow. Let's see what white does. Now white's starting to get a little worried about these big black boxes on either side, and perhaps is also a little worried about these 2 white stones that are just sort of floating, right? They don't make a base very easily. So white's going to try to make them stronger while at the same time reducing your opponent's boxes. Normally this is a very good idea. However, here I think white will just get into some pretty big trouble over it. Let's find out and see what black does. So black plays for territory on this side, and again, this is actually just strengthening this whole box quite a bit. If black doesn't have this move, white still has moves like this later on. If these 2 stones are strong, white can come in even deeper and reduce these points even more, or perhaps even moves like this, where black has to choose, well, what sort of agi can white create, and again, this can be reduced if we don't lean on this, right? By leaning on it over here, by black fixing, we're just making black stronger. There's also still an invasion point over here too, where if black tries to cap, white has moves like this to connect underneath. And depending on the agi over here, again, it might have been useful to play this attachment. There are some cool things that can happen. Oops, let's not play that one. Let's just try taking. And you can see, this isn't an optimal sequence, of course, but it's something that can happen in a game. Black has 1 eye, so it's just a capturing race. And unfortunately, this is a capturing race that black will lose. All right, but let's go back. So this is the game somewhere. I have to go back quite a bit. There we go. Correct. White leaned on black, and black will make the box stronger. White will continue to basically ask black to make this box stronger. The nice thing about this move is it does actually help start to make something that could be an eye over here, but it's still probably not enough to guarantee any sort of life yet. This move is wrong. Black's starting to think that there might be some blood in the water over here. This white group is in the middle of this entire nice black framework, and black's saying, hey, I know you don't have eyes yet. Let's make sure you can't make any. This is a bad move, however, because white has some counter repercussions. If anyone out there has their eyes drawn to this stone and this stone, you'll see that these two stones are actually a little bit weakened by this stone here. Let's see what white does about this. I doubt that white's going to just try to make a base now. I bet white's going to come out and do something a little more aggressive than that. Ah, there it is. So white is sensing the weakness here. Now check this out. Just pretend for a second, I know it's black's move, but let's pretend that white gets one more move. Let's put black stone over here. Some black move, or white move like this, and maybe like this. If white can effectively seal this off, check out the size of this white box. That's the biggest box in the game. That could be enough to win the game. Now I know it's black's move, so black can't let that happen. But it certainly is a possibility. Black has to look out for this. These stones that were weak before could be turned into strength. Let's delete that first. All right. So what is black going to do about this? Oh, that's not a good move. Black's move, I'm not sure what black's trying to do other than just say white, hey, you have a cut here. Don't you know you have a cut here? This is like saying to your opponent, hey, you have a weakness. You should fix it, right? Usually you don't want to tell your opponent that they have weakness. Usually you just want to say, hey, you're weak, and then you cut it, and then you kill them. By doing moves like this, you are only helping your opponent. For black, haven't quite read this whole thing out yet, but it looks like we could play for the cut here. Now remember, it does kind of look like white might get this entire wall here. But if white gets all of this, there is a chance that black, let me draw it over here, might get all of this. These 4 stones are becoming very weak again. So even if we give up these 2 stones, if black can get compensation for it, that might be a fair trade. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's what the game happened, or what happened in the game. So let's go back and see what our 2 5Qs did. All right, that move. Okay, that wasn't helpful. This move's a little weird. If you're going to play this, probably just peep directly, I think, and then come back and fix something like this, or maybe that. Not exactly sure what white's going for here, because it looks like white can still be cut off, and we can still get this sort of trade for this, but let's see. Okay, so black decides to cut, but white doesn't cut back. Instead, white comes out, and black comes out, and then white tries to eat these stones. All right, that's kind of like something I showed you. Oh dear, this does not work. Yeah, black can't play this. Black has to keep fighting here and, yeah, figure something out. I don't know. I think black's just trying to play scared and save these stones, except black can't really save these stones this way. It still has to go to a fight. Yes, because white can just block here. That doesn't help because white will just play here. Oh, that's not what white played, though. Oh, dear. Yeah, so you guys see if black tries to save this stone, white just comes up. If black saves, white just connects, and these 2 stones are basically as good as dead. What did white play? White connected. Oh, that doesn't... Well, I don't know. Doesn't look good. Yeah, that's sad. So it looks like black was actually able to sneak around here. Oh, and that's... okay. Okay. Good. So white's trying to at least take advantage of this and capture these stones. So even though black looks kind of connected here, white can still cut off this stone. But even though white's, didn't succeed in disconnecting black, looks like white will get a little bit of compensation. Yep, there's the compensation. And now black chooses to fight. This is bad timing. Black should have done this earlier. Oh, does that work? The answer looks like no. The stone just dies, huh? Oh well. Alright, I don't know what this is. This is crap. This is nothing. Black's not going to play that right now. There is no point to this move. Okay. There's not a whole lot of point to this move here either. That's just wasting a co-threat, right? White can't save these 2 stones. That's just captured, and that's just captured. That's also just captured. Yeah, so white can't save these stones, so this is nothing. Probably leave that, save it for later, save it for a co-threat. Alright, now this just got really exciting. So let's take a look here. Let's just do an evaluation first before we figure out how this fight should go. If I draw some territory, it looks like black should get this pretty comfortably, as well as this and this. So it looks like 8, 10, 22, 26, 20, 30, 30. Looks like black has about 70 points. And if I change color, this will be a little generous, but we'll give white, it looks like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 20 points, a little more than that there. Plus, if we just count that as it is, that's 30. So we'll look at 50 plus at least another 10 here. Maybe not quite that much. Maybe that's a little generous because black got this move in. But for now, let's say white has 60 points, minus the Comey. So right now, it looks like black still has more points that are on this board, just by a very rough estimate. But black has a liability. This is the liability. Remember this? Yes. Let's see what black decides to do. So black's going to try to come on top. I think black should just do this first. And now coming on top looks much stronger because white can't quite link up. Right? So that didn't go well for white. So I think black has to take advantage of this weakness right now. So black comes on top and white crosscuts. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about any of this actually. Feels like we should be able to do something a little bit more mean and nasty to white in here. Do something like this as an initial invasion. Looks kind of hard for white to deal with. Excuse me, for black to deal with. But still, there's that weakness, so... Oh, if we connect this way... Yeah, white can't be cut off completely, it looks like. And black doesn't have any eyes. 0 eyes in the middle of a whole bunch of white stones. And if we have to run with black... Whoops, hey, I don't know what that is. Alright, wrong key. Let's try this key. There we go. If black has to run, we'll see that just very naturally, if white just plays very nice, and I doubt that white will be able to get maybe some extra points over here, and maybe some extra points over here, just by squeezing black through and forcing black to run away. Now, I doubt white's going to be that nice, but that's probably the best case scenario for black at this point, and that's not a great result. So this is the exact type of situation you don't want to find yourself in. All right, let's see what our 2 players did, because they didn't quite invade as severely, or at least white did not. Gives black a little bit of a chance. Yeah, so this crosscut is interesting. I'm not sure if I'd want to give black just a stone here. I'm sure black's just going to do this, and if white has nowhere to run, right? This is just dead. So what else could white do here? White could do this, but that doesn't look great. Maybe it's okay. White will be able to fix shape, but apparently that's not what they did either. Let's see what they did. Oh, that's terrible. No, alright. I might be inclined to play this move. Make sure that black can make at least 1 eye here. if we take this stone, there's this ko. Make me a little scared as the black player, because if black connects, we have moves like this. That doesn't really work. Never mind. Well, still, black only has one eye here, and it looks like we're gonna have to run anyway. And white, if black just wants to make two eyes, we'll be able to make some more nice points here. Okay, let's see what they did. Oh, black, alright, oh I see. So white did start a ko immediately, and black counters. This is dangerous, to say the least. If white wins this ko, this black group is in shambles. So white takes, oh, and black isn't even going to fight the ko. Black's just going to make shape immediately. Oh, this is asking for trouble. This would be a good spot in the game to figure out ko threats. If white figures that white has a lot of ko threats, white can make this ko even bigger and just play here directly. And if we fight this ko, and white has some threats, not sure if that's big enough or not, but let's just pretend it is. And black can't find a good enough threat. It's a little bit difficult to find any threat that's not local here. Yeah, white's... I mean, we'd have to find something like this, or this, or this. Not even sure if we want to play that, because that's bad endgame. Well, yeah, I mean, looks like they're better threats, slightly better threats for white, but even then, probably wasn't the optimal threat. Black might have to be forced to connect here. And again, white can make this ko even bigger and guarantee that black doesn't get an eye down here, which means black still has to run. So this is kind of scary. There's a lot of ways this could go. I'm a little scared for black. All right, so black just fixes, and white makes this ko bigger this way immediately. This, okay, well, let's see it. So black takes, and does white have a threat? Oh, there's the white threat. And black doesn't like the idea of this group being cut off, so black responds, and white takes back. All right, let's find the black threat. Ah, very good. So black will descend. This is a local threat. This is making the ko a little bit bigger as well, though, because we're just adding more points to it. So white will descend as well. All right, white needs another threat. Yep, black would respond to this one. Maybe black will respond to this one. Sure enough, black does. White takes back. Oh, this is a bad threat. This is, or maybe that's not a bad threat, but it's a threat that loses points. I'm going to call it a bad threat. You guys see this? Right now, when white captures this, white might get 4 points. When you play this, white is basically forced to capture. Yep, white does, and now white gets 6 points. So you're just giving free points to your opponent. Yes, it's true. Sometimes this happens in games where you need to do this if there's an all-important ko that will decide the game. I doubt that this is that type of situation. I think black should play some local threats over here first. So this is giving free points to white. Keep that in mind, because this game is very close at the end, and I won't give away the winner yet, but this makes the game very close in the end. All right, so white captures, and black takes the ko, and there's a white threat. That's an interesting threat. I'm not sure if I fully agree with this, because again, it takes away the endgame plays that are down here. Later on, if white doesn't play this, white can play things like this, and black might have to back up anyway. So this gets white a few extra points in the endgame. So by playing this now, if black's just going to connect, which black does, white loses this, bottom or right edge endgame play now, because if white plays here, black will just eat that stone. So it depends on what else can white do with this stone, and we're not exactly sure yet, but maybe there's something. So anyway, black responds, white takes ko, and black threatens to link up over here. Very interesting ko threat. And white responds. I suspect... No, I think that's fine. That's fine. White might be even better responding this way to get an extra point out of the endgame right now. But not a big difference. Alright, so black takes the ko. White threatens to use this stone. This also could start an additional fight up here. We have this weak black group, 3 stones. If white gets one more move in here, maybe 2, these 3 stones will be left all alone, and that's not going to help. Having 2 weak groups on the board is disaster, because your opponent can just attack one while leaning on the other, and lean on the other to attack the other one, and your opponent will get to control the entire game. So black defends. I guess that defense is okay. If I were black, I might also look at defenses like this, just to make sure that stone can't go anywhere. But that's okay. There might be still plays down here for white that I can kind of see a little bit. But that's all right. There's plays for white no matter what black does. So white doesn't take the ko next, and white pushes in. Black responds. Now white takes the ko. I'm not sure what this is about. That's bad. Just wasting basically a ko threat. Black is scared. Black is struggling to find threats, like we predicted earlier. So black will now try to make an additional eye. I gotta think about this a little bit. It might, if white still has enough threats over here, which it looks like white might start to run out, but there's still moves like this that are kind of nasty looking. White might even play something like this to just really harass this group. Let's see what white does instead. Yep, takes the ko. That's okay. I think white can ask for more, though. And black will fix shape. This is a little slow. This is actually very slow. This is a good move locally in the sense that white can start to expect to make some real points in here. However, I think the real move is down here. This group isn't completely safe yet, and it looks like we can still gain something by attacking it. With this move, we're asking black, hey, can I seal this completely off and take all of these points? If black says no and wants to come eat some of these points, we get to have our fun and keep attacking black. And black has to do something like this, and then white can poke here. I'm not going to play completely optimal moves, but right there, at least as far as that much, we can see that probably don't have to play that yet. Let's go here, for instance. We can see that black has one eye plus a false eye. So this is actually really scary for black still. So I think white missed a good opportunity by playing this move first. Black is still not worried about this group. Black thinks black is completely safe, even though there's still so many white stones around. White has to attack it. So black wants more points. Okay, white will try to limit the damage. But now, as we can see, this whole area is looking very black. That's a lot of black points, both in these 2 corners. There's some over here. We know 1 point over here. We're not sure about the second one, but that's what black has. As far as what white has, looks like we got this, and this, and definitely something in here. We're not sure what yet, but definitely something over there. So just sort of estimating, this looks like the biggest corner in the game, so that's bigger than white's group over here. This is not quite as big as this, so maybe those are equal. And then white right here looks like, actually, if counting the captures here, is almost certainly more than this corner. So right now it looks like white's actually having a pretty good game. I'll have to see. Black does have some reductions down here, so it kind of depends on what white's next move is. But if black can reduce here, black's looking in actually pretty good shape. Black has recovered. White's still trying to make more points here, so white will cap. And, okay. I don't like this move entirely. I think it's a little slow. This is so strong, this stone can actually be further away from these stones. Black's trying to limit the potential of this while at the same time helping this. This move is a little slow. I would probably look at doing something a little more serious first, and really, considering things like this invasion might make life really difficult for white. Oh, actually, maybe there's nothing there. I think white's strong enough to just do this because of the problems of this black group. So, what else can black do here? How about that? That looks just like very nice endgame. So we can try to limit this potential. But no matter, black's going to leap out, try to limit this. White will sense that black is trying to help this still surprisingly weak group over here, so white will keep up a little bit of pressure. Oh dear, that's okay, that's an idea. It looks like it could actually, black could actually get something out of this. Yep. Oh, that's not the move. Alright. That's not the move either. I think black needs to play that and just threaten to come out here. By playing this, white should just descend. Let's see what white does. Nope. Wrong move, white. You gotta descend here, buddy. Because if black wants to make this into an eye, well, first he gets his Atari, and then you threaten this group, and black is just screwed. If black takes this, well, now you can make this into basically a dead group as well. So white just had a major mistake here. Big mistake. Still might be okay, because if white gets strong here, again, this black group is still attackable. Alright, so let's back up. Here's what white did. White takes this ko right away. Nope. Empty triangle. All you beginners out there who don't know about empty triangles, this is an empty triangle. Don't make this shape. This is no good. Black will come under. White will take. And black is going to start threatening to come out. Okay. Yeah, this is, well, here, let's just find out what happens. Oh, no. Nope, gotta take the ko. Becomes a ko for life. Well. Yeah. Should have fought something like this. I see what white's trying to do. White's is trying to prevent black from playing a Sente link up, but black's not going to play that move anyway with his group in trouble. And black's alive. Alright, so black just lived in that corner. Good job, black. White will take some more endgame now. Oh, white, you sadden me. This is a terrible move. This is, if you really want this, you should just play here. Black can't go any further than that. If you still want to attack this, you should play here. And let black play here. This move is not that big. You can still just defend if you want. It's 2 points. And you get a much better attack on black this way. This is asking your opponent to make shape, or at least get a free move. This is like telling your opponent, warning, warning, I'm going to attack you, I'm going to attack you, and then never actually attack them. That's what you're doing. Not the best move for black. Black's trying to make this into an eye. White should attack this immediately. Let's find out if white does. Nope. All right, what did white do? That's another questionable move. I bet black just extends. Yep. Threatening to push in again. And the whole time, black's getting a little bit stronger. Now, this is still attackable. That's the weird thing, is that this still isn't guaranteed 2 eyes yet. Though it's starting to get pretty close. Especially if we defend like that, black's starting to look really safe. Okay. Well, black's just going to take a little bit of Aji here. That is making the stone heavy. Black should probably play a move more on the outside like this. Let the stone go. If white really wants it, white can have it. So this might be asking for trouble later, because this Hane forces black into bad looking shape. Have to choose probably that one. Something like this. And later on white can peep here. Not a big deal. Alright. Is black alive? Yeah. Looks fine. I don't know what this move is doing. This looks silly. There's no points here. White's, yep, there's the white peep. Nope, that's the wrong answer. That's dangerous. So right now, black doesn't have 2 eyes. White only has 1 eye for what it's worth, but right at this very moment, white can make a second one by capturing these 2 stones. This move isn't that big. Yep, and now that white actually has the 2 eyes, yeah, white can push and threaten to cut through here. Black will come this way. Alright, I wonder if there's a play for white to do this. And, yeah, black looks dead. Yep, I think white missed a good killing opportunity. I've been telling him that whole group has been weak the whole game. You can't kill it when it's time. That's too bad. Although I guess black would just connect here and it would just be alive. So not dead. Alright, going on. Black connects, white plays there, sure. White takes some points. Now it looks just like it's endgame, huh? Yep, endgame, endgame, endgame. Anything interesting? I mean, endgames are really interesting, but I want to try to finish this up in 3 minutes. And, oh, what was that? I see. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Mexico, all right. Is that anything? Nope. Ooh, it is when you connect that way. Gotta connect that way. There's nothing here. This group is safe. Black can't connect these stones and save that at the same time. There's nothing here. So black just got a little endgame freebie. Oh, big endgame freebie. That's very big. However, white made a lot of points here, so black needs it. And okay. Nope, wrong answer. You got to connect that. That's bigger. You connect that. Yeah, you play it this way. Looks like you lose about 3 points playing that way. And endgame, endgame, endgame. We should probably be looking at this a little more carefully, given how close the result was. Oh, but we won't. Finish it out. Just poking, poking. White passes. Black is filling in dame for some unknown reason. And there's the game. The result. White wins by a half point. So, looking at this, the end of the game here, we see that white got a whole lot of points in here. White actually has quite a few captures. White got a lot reduced over here and over here. But in the end, this one area wasn't big enough to really balance these points that came out of nowhere. So that's my game review for 2 5Ks. I hope to do more, and please subscribe if you like this video.